Welcome, fight fans. On this channel, we dive into the details and stories of every boxer who made history, whether success or failure, past or present. And today, it's our turn to shine the spotlight on Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G.
Golovkin trying to obey those instructions, and there's the body shot. Oh, that is the end of that. Oh.
Expect the punching power. You have to be able to hit him, or he can just have free-range target practice. And when he can have free-range target practice, that's what happens.
Down goes the rook.
By Golovkin.
Left hook by Golovkin. And down goes. It was the Golovkin left hand, and now he's and that's it. Less than 2 rounds. And he's hurt. Rolls tries to fire the right hand over the top. That hook landed, and down goes Rolls into heat. It's over. There's your answer. Right hand from Golovkin, and Proxa gets hurt.
The boxer who must be avoided more than any other in boxing history. The story of Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, is the story of one of the most avoided and most dominant boxers in history. From his humble origins in Kazakhstan to his epic battles against Canelo Alvarez, his legacy is legendary. Is he the greatest middleweight boxer of all time? Today, we're going to talk about one of the most fearsome boxers in boxing history, Gennady Golovkin, better known as Triple G. Why is he considered a legend in boxing? Let's start with this terrifying introduction that still echoes through the history of the sport. 35 fights, 35 wins, 32 of them by knockout, including 22 consecutive knockouts. He knocked out every single opponent he faced in those 8 years. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the undefeated champion and universally recognized world middleweight champion, Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin was born in Karaganda, Kazakhstan, in 1982, into a family of miners. His childhood was marked by hardship and resilience, elements that forged his fighting spirit. From a young age, Gennady and his twin brother Maxim were inseparable. They started out playing sports like football and basketball, but boxing quickly became their shared passion. He recalls how his older brothers would force him to watch major boxing matches on TV. Legendary names like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and Marvin Hagler captivated his imagination and inspired him to step into the ring. But his life was not without tragedy. In 1990, when he was just 8 years old, he lost one of his older brothers, who was killed in combat while serving in the Russian army. 4 years later, another brother died under similar circumstances. This double loss left a deep mark on Gennady and his twin Maxim, and the two of them dove into boxing together to channel their grief and honor the memory of their fallen brothers. However, the boxing legacy of the Golovkin family would be carried by Gennady alone. It was decided that Maxim would stay with the family while Gennady pursued his professional career. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This kind of content is full of boxing passion, and you won't want to miss it. Golovkin didn't waste his opportunity. In 2004, he competed in the Olympic Games in Athens, where he showcased his talent to the world and won a silver medal. In 2006, he had his first professional fights, and in 2010, after joining the famous trainer Abel Sanchez, he won his first title by knocking out Milton Nunez in just 58 seconds. In 2012, after years of fighting in Germany, Gennady Golovkin got his big break in the United States. He debuted on HBO and amazed everyone by defeating the durable Grzegorz Proxa in 5 rounds. This was the beginning of his rapid rise in the boxing world. Question for boxing fans. Do you think Gennady Golovkin is the greatest middleweight boxer of all time? Or is there someone else who deserves that title? Drop your opinions in the comments. Gennady Golovkin quickly became an unstoppable force in the middleweight division. Between 2008 and 2016, he achieved 23 consecutive victories, all by knockout. Every time he stepped into the ring, his opponents knew they were facing a man with devastating power, flawless technique, and constant pressure that left no room for rest. Training partners who shared the ring with Golovkin tell incredible stories about his training sessions at the Big Bear gym, where the altitude makes breathing difficult. Golovkin would do 4-minute rounds and train with the heater turned up to maximum. One of his sparring partners recalled, "I thought I could handle it, but after one punch I heard a crack. It was my rib, and even though I was wearing a protector, it's amazing how much all those punches hurt. Even his jabs feel like right hooks." However, despite his impressive performance, Gennady Golovkin faced a common problem among dominant boxers. No one wanted to fight him. His terrifying knockout record and fearsome technique scared off the best fighters in the division. For years, he struggled to secure fights against big names, and when he finally did, the results were controversial. In 2017, the fight everyone had been waiting for finally took place. Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez, which many consider the fight of the decade. From the moment it was announced, this fight divided the boxing community. Some believed that Golovkin, with his relentless pressure, would overpower Canelo, while others thought Canelo's speed and counter-punching ability would be the key to defeating the Kazakh. The fight delivered on all its promises. Canelo started well, using his movement to stay out of range. However, as the rounds progressed, Golovkin imposed his will, pushing Canelo to the ropes and landing powerful combinations. Despite that, the result was highly controversial, a split draw, featuring a scorecard scandal of 118 to 110 in favor of Canelo. I'll leave you with a question for discussion. Do you think the draw was fair, or did Gennady Golovkin deserve to win that fight? In your opinion, who is the better boxer? Leave your thoughts in the comments. The controversy only intensified the rivalry between the two fighters. A year later, in 2018, the rematch took place. This time, Canelo adopted a more aggressive style, facing Golovkin head-on in the center of the ring. It was a thrilling fight, where both boxers had to constantly adjust their strategies. Canelo managed to secure a victory by majority decision, becoming the new champion. Despite this loss, Golovkin maintained his status as a boxing legend. His dedication to the sport, his relentless style, and his humility outside the ring made him one of the most beloved boxers among fans. After his epic battles against Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin's career continued. Although his rivalry with Canelo marked a pivotal moment in his career, Golovkin didn't stop there. In the years that followed, he continued to prove why he was one of the most feared boxers of his generation, securing victories and defending his title multiple times. Throughout his career, Golovkin was more than just a dominant boxer. He was a man who embodied the values of discipline, respect, and perseverance. But inside the magical ring, he was a force of nature, capable of subduing any opponent through his constant pressure and devastating punching power. Gennady Golovkin is known not only for his impressive record, but also for the stories that surround him. His sparring partners, trainers, and relatives often speak about his unshakable character and professional attitude. One trainer said, "Golovkin didn't just hit hard. He had an understanding of boxing that went far beyond his raw power. It was as if he was always 2 steps ahead of you inside the ring." In 2022, After years of speculation, Gennady Golovkin and Canelo faced each other for the third and final time. Although this fight wasn't as intense as the first two, it served as a conclusion to one of the greatest rivalries in modern boxing. Canelo won by unanimous decision, but fans will always remember these clashes between two giants as an unforgettable legacy. Gennady Golovkin's legacy is not measured by wins alone, but also by the way he redefined what it means to be a champion. With a knockout ratio of 80%, the highest in middleweight history, Golovkin has become an iconic figure. He has often been compared to greats of the past, like Marvin Hagler, because of his aggressive style and ability to absorb punches. And here's a question for true boxing purists. Do you think Gennady Golovkin was the last of the great old-school fighters? Or is there someone else who can fill that role? Write it in the comments. Today, Gennady Golovkin stands as a symbol of determination and excellence in the world of boxing. His achievements inside and outside the ring cement him as one of the greatest middleweight boxers of all time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any more stories like this one. Your support is essential for us to keep creating content. That's all for today, but if you want more stories about boxing legends, let me know in the comments. See you in the next video, and thank you for joining us.